everyone. Today we will be working on energy modeling for this office building. So I have this office building that I made in Rhino. I have some surrounding buildings that are in red, and I have some trees in the back of the building. So this model I just made in Rhino, and you can see the dimension of the models. The model is in meters. You can see the width of the building is about 36 meters. And here is 26 meters, 13 meters. The building is the 3 floors building, and each floor contains 6 energy zones. And the reason I split my floor into 6 energy zones is that building is big. It is in reality, this building, when it's heated and air conditioned in the winter and in the summer, these wings, or we call them energy zones, are controlled almost individually. Some of these, let's say for example, this wing has closed offices and requires different temperature set point in the summer, different than this energy zone, which has a lot of computers and equipment that requires a lot of cooling and temperature set point that is lower, a lot lower than closed offices. So that's why we split the building into different zones, so you can have the maximum control, different thermostat in each energy zone to control each zone individually. And this also helps maximize energy savings in buildings. So in reality, a big floor like this usually has about 6 zones or different types of zones to control temperature set points in the summer and in the winter individually. So I split each floor into 6 zones. So now I have 18 zones in the whole entire building. And let's start importing this stuff to Grasshopper so we can work on the energy model for Honeybee with Honeybee and Ladybug. So let me just turn off. I have 3 layers here. One layer that has the office model. I'll keep this on. I have another layer that has the trees. Let me turn off this layer. And then that third layer that has the context, I'm going to turn it off as well. So now we have just the building. Let me also put the dimension in a new layer so we can turn off the dimensions. I really don't want to see the dimensions here in my way. So dimensions, I keep doing the same thing to dimension. So let me just quickly put all the dimensions. And let me turn off the dimension layer. So now let me open Grasshopper. The first thing before we start working on Honeybee and Ladybug, and let me just say a warning first. Energy Plus, Honeybee, and all these things that we're gonna use right now on Open Studio like to work in meters. So that's why I have the model in meters. So before I start working with Grasshopper components, I have to put the Grasshopper fly component, which is this one. So I'm gonna drag this one. I might have some warnings here, but these warnings really relate on things that I didn't install that don't relate to this video, so you don't have to be alarmed. Usually, if you have everything installed, this should be in gray. But I have the Open Studio and Energy Plus components that are needed for this video or this energy model installed, so you don't have to be alarmed with this. Another component that I need to put also before I start working is the Ladybug fly component, which is this one. And what these components do is they look for your installation and they make sure all the plugins that are needed for the energy modeling process are installed correctly. So we're good to go. This one is good to go. This one has some warnings, but because again related to radiance and other things that I don't need at the moment. So now we're good to go. Let's import our geometry model here. So let me get the BREP component. We're going to set multiple BREPs, and I'm going to select all my BREPs here. And I should have, when I have it over here, I should have 18 BREPs as it says here. These are my zones. So now that we imported our BREPs here, I can turn off my model, my Rhino model, so we can just deal with the grasshopper. So now that I have my grasshopper geometry imported from Rhino, let's tell Honeybee that these are the zones that we need to work with. So the component that we're gonna start working on Honeybee right now. So go to Honeybee. First panel has all the components to import our geometry into Honeybee. And this component, that neat component that is called mass to zones, where is it? Mass to zones. It's this one, Honeybee masses to zones. What this component does is it takes our geometry and converts it into energy zones. Because right now this is just geometric model, but now Honeybee converted our model into zones. So we're gonna work with that component. We only need, once he put that, it does not work automatically. You have to turn it on using a Boolean toggle. So let's get a Boolean toggle to turn it on, true, and then connect it here to create your Honeybee zone. So now that we have that, let me show you the output of that. We have about we have 18 zones from 0 to 17. So now we have 18 zones, energy zones, right? So these zones, just energy zones, not a model anymore, but we need to give some more information to that component in order to work properly. So the first thing is I can input zone names if I want to, but to save some time, on time's sake, for the video, I'm not going to put zones names, but you can definitely put a panel here that has 18 zone names if you want to, but I'm just gonna leave the default. This is not a required input. Another thing that I need to put is the zone programs. I have to tell Energy Plus or Open Studio that I need to have a specific program for these zones. So am I programming it? Am I considered residential or office building or a healthcare building? So these things I have to define. To start defining a program for your zone, you use these two components in this panel, panel number 5. So you go first to Honeybee building programs. You have to define a program for your building first. There's multiple programs that come as a default with the Honeybee. So there's office, retail, school, healthcare, all these things are there for you. Because this is an office building, I'm just gonna leave the default, the office. And then I have to start going deeper. So this is just for the whole entire building. Now I'm gonna go with this component, which gives me a list for the zones. You put the program and gives me a list for zone programming. And let me show you what this list has. This list has a lot of programming for our zone programming functions. And to look at the list, I'm gonna open a panel to show you what's in the list. Actually, let's open a panel. So this is the list. Because I told that component that I'm gonna do an office, I can get different office zones here: break room, storage, vending, open office, closed office. Of course, in real life, you have to go and specify a function for each zone that you have. But because I have 18 zones, and I want to make it a short tutorial, I'm gonna specify all of them as one function. I'm gonna give them one function, all of the 18 zones, and I'm gonna give it closed office here. And to do this, you can either use the list item component with Grasshopper, but there is a neat component from Human, and it's called item selector. Let me search for it, item selector. This item selector takes a list like this and it gives me the list in a drop-down menu, which is neat and quick. So I'm gonna choose the closed office. Let me just grab these and put them a little further this way. So now I'm gonna assign this function, the closed office function or program, to all my 18 zones by connecting it to here. But again, you can group your zones. You can say, okay, no, I want 3 of my zones on the top floor to be offices, 2 of them to be conference room, some of them to be storage. And this, of course, makes sense in reality. But again, this is a short tutorial, so I just put all my zones here as one function, give it one function or one program, which is the closed office. To group your zones, it's basically you take the brep here and you start filtering them using the item selector or list item, and you can group your zones from there. List item. So you can say, okay, I'm gonna take this list and I'm gonna have a, let me put a panel, make it multi-line data, and I'm gonna say, okay, I want zone 1, 5, and 4 to be closed offices. So this is how you really group, and you can see when you turn them, when you click on them, you can see which zones you highlighted. Is this one and this one and this one, and you can say, okay, I want a specific function, so I want these zones to be. I can actually repeat this process, put them in an individual component, and then have this. So I'll have a bunch of these things, but I really am not going into this. I'm gonna assign all 18 zones my one program, which is the closed office. But this is how you group zones. So now again, this is all 18 of them grouped here. And then you can see that the output has 18 masses. Now let's look further at these zones and let's make sure our model is ready for energy modeling. And what I mean is I want to make sure that Honeybee counted my interior walls as interior walls, exterior walls as exterior walls, and my roofs and everything is in place, because this is very important to have an accurate model for energy modeling. So let's look deeper at this. To look deeper at this, there's let's go to Honeybee. There's that neat component that lets you look by color or visualize by color. And this component is called the Honeybee Decompose based on types. I'm going to put that. So once you put that, it gives you a look, a visual look in colors here. But let me turn off the brep. And let me also turn off this one. And let's start looking at what we have output here. To start looking, we have to put a component preview, custom preview, and this helps us visualize what's going on with our model. So we can also customize the color. Right now we have that pink color, but let's put a custom color swatch. So I'm going to search for swatch. Oops. Swatch. So this is color swatch, and you can customize the color swatch. This is white. Let's just give it a different color here, pink. So these are our walls, and you can see there's some errors here. So my exterior walls are, or actually my interior walls, you see these are interior walls right here, are counted as exterior walls, and this is wrong. But I'm going to show you how to solve this, but let's repeat. Let's look at everything in the model first. So interior walls, let me turn off this one. So you can see there's no interior walls right now. Let's look at our roofs. So it counted all my floor areas as roofs, and this is definitely wrong. Let me change the colors a little bit. Let's add one for the ceilings. And you can see it doesn't recognize any ceilings. This is so wrong. So we have, I'm gonna show you in a moment how to fix this, but I'm adding a couple of these so we can look at them. Ground floor, it did recognize my ground floor correctly, but I have other problems here. As you can see, it counted all my floor as ceilings. It counted my roof, all my ceilings as roof, which is definitely not the correct way. Let me put this in floors. So to fix this problem is we have to put a component that solves adjacencies in my model. And this is what Honeybee did, is they added that component, and this is called Honeybee solve adjacencies. We're gonna put that here. We're gonna input all my masses here in that component, and we have to turn it on, so I have to add a toggle. That toggle turns it on, and then let's feed that here and let's check our model. So now our model is fixed, and you can see, let me turn on, you can see this is my exterior walls. They're not counted as interior walls anymore. You can see my roof in red. You can see my exposed, I'm sorry, my floors, and you can see the green color here. And you can see my roof, which is in blue. I'm so sorry, my ground floor, which is in blue. And let me add one more component for the interior wall so you can see what the interior wall look like. Let's make this probably yellow. So that is these are my interior wall. You can see all the yellow colored walls here. Let me hide my roof so you can see what's going on. My roof. So you can see all my walls that are interior are counted correctly, and my exterior counted correctly. So this component is a must when you start an energy model, because it really solves the all the adjacencies and fix any problems you have.